Hello everyone. Now that we have our lifters and baffle in, it's time to turn our attention to the cylinder heads and get them ready. Now as you can see, I got a few valves out already, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how to use a valve spring compressor and how to remove and inspect valves. Now first thing you want to look for before you even tear them off is just look for any abnormal wear on the tops of your stems. I'm going to give you guys a better, closer shot. Here's the tips of our valve stems. And as you may or may not be able to see, this one here is it's pretty chipped up, and I can actually feel a burr around the edge. So now that we've found that, it's pretty clear that that will need to be replaced with a new valve. But after you've gone through and inspected your valves and everything, it's time to flip it. I'm going to flip it over this way. I'm going to get rid of these bolts. Okay, now I'm going to flip the head so that you can see the bottom of the valve. There's a view of our valves. Okay, got enough light. I'm going to move you guys a little closer over here. There we go, that's a better view. Okay, now the next valve we're going to be taking out is this exhaust valve. Now you can tell it's an exhaust valve because it's smaller than your intake. So what you'll need to remove those is some type of tool. Doesn't matter what kind. There's a variety of different valve spring compressors out there, but I just have this old type. It's pretty old, but it still kind of works. And it doesn't go far, this adjustment doesn't go far enough to compress the spring, so I have to supplement something to take up the space. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it on my valve like that. And I'm going to go ahead and line this, I'll give you a shot of this foot here. Now this foot will go around the piece that's on top of your valve spring. I can't think of the name at the moment. And it'll push your valve spring down. So I'm going to get this set up, and I'm going to flip this around to show you. Okay. Now usually they go smoother than that, but I took these heads to the car wash, and I think the keepers got a little rusty, and so they're kind of sticking. See how it compressed it? I'm going to give you guys a closer shot. See how it's just compressed this top piece? And there's our keepers. So now that you have your keepers exposed, you have to get them out. And I don't recommend sticking your fingers in there, especially if you have an old tool like mine and it can be a little unpredictable. So just tap on, maybe work the foot a little bit, and there we go. So there's a view of what a keeper looks like. There's two of them. The other one fell on the floor. But all they do is there's a little groove in your valve and they fit in there. I'll show you how to install those later. There's a little trick for it. Now that your valve is compressed, just release on the handle. Set it aside. Pull off your spring and retainer. Now pull off your, if it'll cooperate, pull off your oil seal. There we go. And before you pull the valve through, check for burrs. Wipe it off real good. I can feel a burr around this edge. If you feel a burr, just take your valve and spin it. Use a file and take care of that burr. Because you don't want to pull this through your valve guide and screw up your valve guide. Okay, so now that our burr's taken care of, pull it out just a little bit, just enough that it's off, the valve is off of its seat, and give it a little wiggle like this, up and down like this. You should feel just a very, very small amount of play or none at all. If there's a large amount of play, then you may need new valve guides, or it may need to be machined and larger stem valves installed. So just go ahead and pull it through. And here's our valve. There it is. Now you may not be able to see it real good on camera. Let me see if I have one of the old ones I pulled out. But this valve, these exhaust valves will need to be replaced on this engine. They're pretty rough like that. There's one. Now here's a view of one after I've already attempted to lap it in. It's just the valve itself, the face is pitted badly. Let me see if I can rotate it. Again, not sure how well you can see that, but the face on it's pitted up pretty bad and the stem is pretty hammered on it. So I've went ahead and already ordered a new set of both intake and exhaust valves. So those will be getting replaced. Now I'm just going to give you a view real quick on this next one of what it looks like from the other end. See how it went? So then, now that it's compressed, just go ahead and knock them out. Knock the keepers out. But I'm just going to go ahead and remove these final few. I'm going to clean this head up, and then we'll move on to lapping.